Hey YouTube! So this is number 3 attempt at making this video. The last video was like 13 minutes. The video before that was like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna try to make this, you know, I'm trying to give you the good of the story, but like make it pretty quick. If you watch my other channel, Shantae Springs, link in the bottom. If you watch that channel, then you know that I'm stealing my internet right now. Excuse me. And it is because most of got turned off. But anyway, so the reason that my videos keep getting cut off is because I'm stealing internet. Okay, so basically, I love school. That is the topic of this week was transitioning and being in school. I love school. I didn't transition in school, in high school or anything before that. Um, my friend Gianna, if you watch my channel, Shantae Springs, link in the bottom. Then you know that Gianna transitioned in high school. She started like in freshman year, and like since then has been Gianna and not her before name. Um, I, on the other hand, I love school because after I came out, school was fun. The school was like the place to go to have fun. Like I got good grades, but on top of that, I was just like this social butterfly that loved to be around people, and it was because of school. Because everybody in school liked me, and I mean, of course, you have those haters that don't like you for like no reason, but that's neither here nor there. Like as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to like me, but respect me. Not everybody did, but that was their reading session. Usual. Um, yes, I was known to read a bitch in high school. Um, but there was one story that there was one time, one story. There's one time when I did dress up in high school, and it was for Halloween, and I'll tell a story in a minute. But I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Like, yeah, I never transitioned in high school. I didn't transition until I think even after my class graduated, and I graduated early. Um, and as far as like transitioning in the workplace, I had a job right after I started transitioning, and I told the job manager my tea. Like I told her what was up, and her name was Davina. I think that bitch fired me because of it. Like I really do. I really strongly believe that is why I was like, so Miss Davina, when I see this bitch, it's gonna be some furniture. It's gonna be a misunderstanding. How you doing, Davina? Anyway, um, yeah. So I moved on, um, and now I'm a paid actress here in Portland, and it has not inhibited me in the least, in the slightest. It's if anything helped my career being an actress and a filmmaker. I've not yet found a venue that's like been like, ooh, you're transgender. No, don't come here. As far as my acting goes, and it's also like I don't announce it to the world, but like you know what I mean. Like it's never, it's also never really come up in a conversation. But the fact that I have transitioned, I can't imagine they'd be like, oh well, no, we don't want you here. Blah 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 blah. So, um, on to the story. The story goes, so I went to this high school and it was like predominantly white. There were like a handful of black kids there, like, and not only was I well liked by the students, but excuse me, I'm sick again. But I was well liked by the teachers. I was like everybody's teacher pet. Everybody loved me. I was like funny. I was fun to be around. People would come up to me all the time, be like, I want to hang out with you know, like he seems like a lot of fun and blah 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 blah. So the time was Halloween, and I decided to show up as a woman. And, um, you know, part of the reason was so I could see how it would look as a woman. I wanted to see if, you know, I would be pretty, if I would be ugly, how people would react to me. Because I knew partly that I'd be transitioning sooner rather than later. So um, I decided to go as a woman. And Halloween day comes, and I show up to school that morning, and I get so many looks, so many stares, so many boys are telling me how pretty I am. Honey, I was busted. I was looking so busted. I was looking toe up from the floor up. I looked like somebody hit me with the ugly stick. How you doing? Because my mom, what happened was I had to borrow all my mom's stuff, and I wore boy clothes, but I fashioned them to be like girl clothes, which is actually a skill that I have learned to use to my advantage. Like if I find something in a thrift store that I think is cute, but it's a little too big, I've learned how to use that to my advantage. But anyway, I took one of her because my mom has honey blonde hair. It works for her. It's very beautiful on her. It's actually really pretty on me too, but I think it makes me look too much like her. Anyway, um, and so she had like this ponytail, and I took that ponytail and like the ponytail, with the cap of it was stretched out to be like that big, and like I took it and I connected it from here to the back of my skull, like to the back of my head, to one side to another side, and honey, I combed that piece all the way around, popped me on a hat, honey. Ooh, a little blossom hat at that, and had me this little blonde do, honey, that I lived for with this blossom cap hiding my bald spot, girl. Anyway, so I showed up to school. Like I said, there were so many mixed reactions, and my favorite person in the entire school, Susan Asher, the principal, came up to me. She stopped me and she said, "Come with me." She said, "You cannot walk around school like this." Susan Beckett, my other favorite teacher, apparently heard some boys making fun of me for dressing up, and it broke her heart. You know, she is just such an empathetic person. But it broke her heart to hear these people talking about me. And then, I was just like, girl, whatever. So she was just like, so you can't dress like that and be at school. She's like, you just have to take the boobs out, but the hair and everything else you can keep. So I did. And I went through first period with no boobs. And I think we even had a substitute teacher, and he mistook me for a girl. And it was like, everybody thought it was so funny. Um, and uh, the next period comes, and they were like, "Hey, girl, where are your boobs?" And so, like, they told me to put them back in. So I did. Went through the whole day with my boobs back in. Uh, and some boys were so like, "Wow, if you really got breast implants, man, I squeeze them so hard. Da 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 da. You should get titties for real. You should do this for real. You look good. Blah 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 blah." I look busted. I will be the first one to admit it. But this is what he told me. Um, and then and then what happened? Oh, no, 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 no. So then the next, so I'm thinking I got away with being cute, girl. I'm thinking I just got away with this whole scandal, honey. And because I remember I was wearing my mom's heels, my feet were hurting. I went back to school the next day, like kind of limping, because her heels wasn't but this big, girl, wasn't that big. So I went back to school limping, and I was just gagged. And Mrs. Asher stopped me. She stopped me on the hallway. She said, "Come here. I want to talk to you." And I said, "Whatever could this be about, girl?" She said, "So it has come to my attention that you put the boobs back on." And me, I had to, oh, what? Who would say such a thing like that? I am appalled. Girl, she wasn't. She wasn't surprised at all, so she quickly wrote me a detention slip, and I spent the day in detention for my little stunt. Um, but I learned a lot in that experience. I learned that not everybody's going to like it. I learned that not everybody is going to hate it. I learned that even though everybody in the school knew my tea, there were still, and those were cute boys. Like, these were like fine boys that were telling me, you need to, you should go through with this. You da 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 da. And don't get me wrong. Do not ever lean on somebody else, and especially boys, depend on somebody else for validation that you are passing or that you're beautiful. I knew I was beautiful from the inside out, but I didn't know if I was going to be a pretty girl or not. And I think, it was more than just the boys that were telling me. The girls were telling me too. But I'm just saying, young, dumb, and full of cum. That's the only ones I was listening to. I was just like, oh, well, the boys all thought I was pretty and all this other stuff. So why don't I just go ahead through with it, girl? But yeah, that's pretty much my experience. What my experience has been in school. I love school and it was fun. And I finished school and transitioned after that. And I've seen some of the people that I went to school with. Some of them I haven't. It's what it is. Um, but yeah, tell me what your experience was like in school, being if you transitioned, if you didn't, or if you're thinking about it and what's stopping you, and yeah, and a comment below and like this video, you guys. Like it. This is Nikki D. I'm talking to you guys soon. Bye bye.